Well, we were in, I would say Victoria, Texas, and I was standing at the sink washing dishes one morning. Of course, Herbert went to work for daylight. Here come this big cookie truck down the highway, and the back door flew open, and cookies went everywhere, packages of cookies. And I stood there and I said, there wasn't much traffic. I said, I'm going out there and get me. I took me a sack, and I got a whole bag of cookies. Now, Herbert come and said, where in the world did all these cookies come from? I said, a cookie truck come by, and his door come open, and he just kept going. So I went out there and just scooped.
How long did you eat the cookies for?
Well,
How long did you eat the cookies
I
for?
don't know. Back in those days, he ate a lot of sweets and carried his lunch. But now, we've been Easter Sunday. We had a picnic at Blackwater Falls up in Virginia, West Virginia. Which was it? Where is it at?
I don't know.
You know where Blackwater Falls is?
Mm-mm. I probably should, but I don't.
I think it's in West Virginia. It may be in Virginia, and I know it sleeted, it snowed, and rained all
On Easter Sunday?
And when we were going up there, Herbert says, you know, if I could find a road in these mountains to turn around and go back, I'd go back to Texas. It was nice. And we pulled into this, I don't remember what little town in West Virginia it was. We got a hotel room. It was upstairs. And the next morning I got up and I looked. We didn't have the trailer then. I looked out at the mountains, and of course they were covered in snow. I told Herbert, I said, these winters are cold on this car. It's cold up here. And he said, oh, you crazy. We left Texas in shorts. And I said, come here and look. The mountains were covered with snow. He said, God, I wished I was back in Texas. And they'd tell us, oh, we've got good roads up here around and around those mountains, and they'd look like the old SR out here.
Mm-hmm.
And they had warned Cecilia and me. This is a girl that was from here that married a guy from Minnesota, and Mama sent me the clippings out of the mail one time and said Cecilia got married and said her husband works for H.C. Price, and they're in Bessemer, Alabama. Well, of course, she come out of a movie one night that one of the pipeliners said all the women go to the show on Sunday afternoon. So I parked, I watched, and here comes Celia out of the show, and I hollered, Cecilia. And she looked at me, she said, my God, it's Golda. I said, yeah, you got that right. But anyway, we just had a lot of, what I was going to tell you about Cecilia and me, when we moved on to West Virginia, they told us, Herbert said, and George told us that don't y'all go out on a certain road the way they went to the job.
Mm-hmm.
Said that road, said we see somebody off the side of that mountain every time we go out there, said, and you can't see the bottom. Well, Cecilia and me thought we'd go. We went, and it got worse, and it got worse, and she said, I said, oh, she said, I'm going to turn around. I said, well, I'm getting out. And she said, now you get out, and if I get too close to the edge, you put a rock under it. And I said, you got to be kidding. And I'd motion, I'd say, go forward, because you can't go any further. You're going off of the mountain.
Oh, my word.
Oh, Lord, we've had some crazy times.
How old were you then?
How old were we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't have any kids, so probably 20, 21, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Just enough and then we'd go out to a lake and go swimming. All the pipeliners' wives and men couldn't go, and it was just a lot of fun.
Sounds pretty carefree.
Yep, we was carefree, and you had everything you owed in the back of a new 48 Plymouth. That was what we were doing. And when we got blackballed in Rockville, we had to come back at night. And Gene and Henry, this couple from Georgia, was driving a little old model Ford coupe that had mechanical brakes on it. And I told Herbert, I said, oh my God, don't let them go off that mountain tonight. We were, 5 of us following.
Mm-hmm.
We was following one another. Oh, we've been there and done that. We've had a lot of fun.
So where did y'all go? You went to Alabama then?
We went back to West Virginia where we lived with this couple.
Right?
All we did was knock on the door and they said, "Come on in." They hated to see us leave. And then in Selma, you get into a place and all the pipeliners would come in and these people those days would rent you a room.
Right.
Never seen you before in your life.
Right.
And I walked up in Bessemer and I knocked on Miss Trussell's door and I said, "You wouldn't happen to have a Herbert's was at the warehouse." She said, "Yeah, I'll rent." I said, "Just you and your husband?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'll rent you a room." So we stayed there, and then one time when we were going back to West Virginia, we went through Bessemer, and I knocked on the door, and I said, "Miss Trussell." She said, "Oh my God, it's Golda." And she said, "Y'all have got to spend the night. Now you can't go home. You've got to stay with us." But we had a lot of. And then one time in Lockhart, Herbert couldn't find a place. I was at Mama's, couldn't find a place.
Now you were here? You here with Granny?
Yeah, well, that was at the old place.
Oh,
We
that
never
picture
did
over there.
come in. We didn't have the trailer then.
Okay.
Well, he went to this one lady's house and she said, "No, I don't have any rooms," but said, "My sister lives 5 miles out of, that little old place, Lockhart,
Right.
out of Austin." He said, "Go out there and talk to her." Well, when Herbert got out there, Miss Balser said, "My sister called, said you rent to that guy." So they rented, and we were there one day, and Miss Balser come in, and she said, "Well, Golda, I'm fixing to have my first grandchild. I'm going to be with them somewhere in Texas," and her husband was working in Austin, and he won't be here. They just turned the whole house over to us, left us, said there's tomatoes, garden, everything, corn, whatever y'all want, get it. Never seen us before in their life. Can you imagine?
No, that was totally a different place and time.
It's a different place and time.
How long did you stay there?
Probably 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
How long was she gone with you guys in charge?
Oh, probably 4 weeks at least.
Wow.
Mr. Balser would come home on the weekend, and she really, when she'd come back, she'd teach me how to cook and do all that. I didn't know too much about the fried stuff. I
Yeah.
knew how to fry, but Miss Balser would help me. But I said, I can imagine somebody knocking on that door and saying, "Could you rent me a room? And I'm going to be gone for several weeks, and there won't be anybody here but y'all."
I don't even like servicemen in my room.
I don't want them to come in here. Joanne said, let this woman that cleans my house." I said, "I don't want her in here."
I don't have a problem with that.
Me neither.
You would just go in and you'd knock on doors, and that was what you.
I've been wanting to ask you, do you remember Granny Mac making cabbage rolls?
Cabbage rolls?
Yeah. No? Okay.
No.
Mother made cabbage rolls, and I don't know how she did it.
No.
And most of the recipes I see are more like with the tomato sauce, and hers weren't. So I was hoping that was a Granny Mac recipe.
Yeah, I know Mama made salmon patties. And
I make those.
I can't get mine to taste like Mama's.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember how Granny Mac's tasted, but my family loves mine, so that's all that matters.
Them, but every time I make them, they don't taste like what Mama made.
Did Granny put potatoes in hers?
Seems to be like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's what Mother did. I don't make mine with mashed potatoes, but Mother made hers with mashed potatoes.
And she put an egg in them too.
Yeah, there was an egg,
An onion,
onion.
and what else went in them, but they didn't taste like. We eat a lot of salmon when we were coming up.
Yeah,
It must have been cheap.
yeah.
because
Was it canned or?
canned?
Yeah,
It was canned salmon.
it's good for you.
Yeah.
It's real good for you.
I can remember that we did eat a lot of. I don't know. Those were the good old days.
Those used to be days. What is it Brandon says?
Those used to days.
Those used to days.
But we lived all over Texas, Marlin, Waco.
Oh, you lived in Marlin?
Yep. Lived there with an old couple.
We had a real good friend from Marlin.
I'm trying to think of their name now. Can you remember, you were born, y'all come down one Sunday and had lunch with me, Shirley and Coy.
I don't remember.
If I had to go knock on somebody's door now and ask them for a room, I couldn't do it.
I don't think I could either.
I'd
Liable
be
to
scared
knock
to
you in the
death.
head.
And when we were in Alexander City, there was a man, this old lady was bedridden, and I told her, I said, oh my Lord, we had a room on the other side of the living room from her, and I said, I don't know what I'm gonna like that. And Billy, but one daughter had been married, but she was divorced, and Elva worked at a grocery store downtown. Well, I thought, I don't think I'm gonna like living here. But do you know, I'd tell that, Billy, see, she was there. She couldn't go to town. She couldn't go eat with Elva. They couldn't do it. And I'd say, Billy, if you want to go eat lunch with Elva today, go on. I'll be here. I'll take care of Nan. And I'd take, Billy wouldn't let her, she had arthritis, she'd get these two fingers together and she loved to tear up Kleenex. She'd take them and carry and Billy wouldn't let her. So Billy would leave, I'd throw her the box of Kleenex.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Just tear you, and she'd say, and Billy kept her clean and everything, and she'd brush her hair, but she wouldn't brush the back of it, and Nan would say, and I raised my head up, and you brush my hair, Golda, and I said, yeah, I brush it. And so they told me, said, now if she had to use a bedpan, and I'd say, now Nan, don't you poop on me, I can wipe your hiney with me pee-pee. And her sister come and she said, you know, Golda, you're going to get a star in your car. I said, I won't need them on him for that star, but oh God, Billy and Elva hate to see us leave.
I bet.
Because Billy I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have any kids. And you went to the washateer those days, and once a week I'd go wash our clothes. And then before we left there, Elva says, why don't we all eat together? Y'all cook and we cook, and let's just eat together.
Oh, wow.
Well, we just cook together and eat. Just got to be one happy family. And in West Virginia, Paul was Miss Kistner's son, and he'd come over and sit. He said, "Can I sit in the kitchen with y'all while y'all talk?" He said, "I just love to hear y'all talk."
Aww.
But it just was a closeness we get with. We never got in a place that I felt uncomfortable. The first night we was in Alexander City, the bed fell in with us, and I swear we wasn't doing nothing.
Oh, now come on.
No, because we'd been traveling in Herbert, and we had an old metal suitcase, and we saw the heck with it. We got it out of the closet, put it under, and if Elva and Billy and later didn't tease us about
Breaking the bed. I bet they did.
But you know, you go into a different place. I wouldn't want to go across the street and stay with the girls. But it was just different those days.
It was very different.
Probably didn't lock the doors.
We didn't lock the doors in Port Arthur.
And Selma, Alabama, had this big old room, and the kitchen was right next to it, and across the hall there was a man, and he was an alcoholic. Well, Miss Sudie owned the place, and she said she had bars on her windows, and the windows come all the way to the street, and you could just see the side, as the people walked down the sidewalk, they were just there. Well, Herbert was working nights. That's after we come from West Virginia, and I was literally petrified there at night by myself. Couldn't close the windows. She didn't have air conditioning. And Miss Sudie told me one day, said, now, Golda, I told her I was afraid. She said, don't be afraid of that man. I said, he's not going to hurt you. I said, I ain't worried about him hurting. I'm just glad when he comes in. He lived across the hall from